In this testimonial, Mom shares her experience in a prenatal bonding session with me. Mom and baby were separated after birth due to a medical complication, and baby had not made eye contact since they'd been home from the hospital. Remarkably, after just one healing session, baby's trauma was healed. Baby engaged in prolonged eye gazing, this clear demonstration that the bond was healed, that the trust and the connection restored.
My name is Bree, and I had my baby in January of this year. With my background in nursing, I had a little bit of anxiety going into giving birth just because I feel like as a nurse, you kind of know too much about the medical setting and about what can go wrong. And so I just wanted a little bit of extra support, like navigating some of my feelings around giving birth and what my thoughts and expectations were, as well as getting some tools in my toolbox to kind of manage how I was going to process everything in the moment. So I started seeing Elizabeth before giving birth. When I got into the third trimester, it really hit me that I was going to actually have to deliver this baby. And so I reached out to her to kind of start doing a weekly therapy session. And from there, it went really well. And so I decided to see her for a couple sessions after the birth as well. So giving birth was wonderful and magical and all of the things, but it was also really scary and definitely didn't go the way that I had planned for it to go. And so in the end, I ended up with a healthy, happy baby, which is all that I could have asked for from everything that happened. But one of the things that was really hard, that I realized was especially hard, was not having that first golden hour that everyone talks about, which is like the first hour after the baby's born. You're supposed to get all the skin-to-skin contact, and it has tons of benefits for breastfeeding and for bonding and for the baby, temperature regulation and blood sugar control. There's like tons of research around how important this first hour is. And I started, feeling really guilty that I wasn't able to give that to her, because when she came out, she needed some extra support and needed to go to a different unit to be monitored. And so I felt guilty that she wasn't able to have that. And then I also felt like I had missed out on a crucial moment in our relationship. I was like, well, now that we haven't had this hour, maybe we'll never bond the rest of our lives. And, I was being really negative about it. But also, like, anytime I would think about the birth, I would just get really tearful and upset. And so that was the point where I realized that I probably needed to process things and get it out and talk about it with Elizabeth. The first session that we had, we sort of just walked through the birth step by step and talked about, my feelings at each point during the birth. We did some like tapping exercises and some meditation. And when I had told her about, my feelings around not having this golden hour opportunity, she suggested that we do a session with my baby to redo the quote unquote the golden hour and get the opportunity to reclaim that time. Of course, it was like weeks later. It wasn't that first hour of life, but we still, were able to bond in the way that we really captured a magic moment. So I think it was 3 weeks later, after the birth, we ended up doing a Zoom session. So it was all online, and we had my baby there, and she was surprisingly very chill throughout the whole session. I was a little nervous she was going to cry or get upset or something, and she was very relaxed, and so was I. And we really walked through everything from birth, from my baby's perspective and what it must have felt like for her. We talked a lot about, physically the environment that we were in, but most importantly, like that we had still maintained the connection that her and I had throughout pregnancy. even though she was in the next room over and, the doctors were evaluating her and, doing all of the medical things in the background, mom was still connected to her, you know, spiritually and through our own mother-daughter connection, that was very strong. So during the session, my baby and I locked eyes at one point, and we had never really she had never really developmentally probably also, but had never really maintained eye contact with me. And we had like a good 3 minutes where she was just like staring into my eyes and I was just crying, and it just felt like a really magical, intensely special experience. And it made me feel like I got that moment back, that like special, like golden hour moment that you're supposed to have with your baby. And so it was really, really amazing. And now I don't feel as bad that we didn't get that time, as soon as she was born. I feel like we still got that time, even though it was later, and even though, it wasn't in the way that we had envisioned it, we still got a special moment that was like dedicated to her and I really connecting together and, finally like meeting as mother-daughter earthside. So it was really cool and really special. And I think about it often. And now when I think about it, I'm not like sad or guilty or feel like I missed out on something, because I got that in a really special way. So I'm really grateful for my experience. It was really, really important that we do that.